Hi everyone. I want to start by asking how many of you have ever bought a trendy $5 shirt that you wore once or maybe not at all. Um, if you have, you're not alone, but behind that cheap price tag is a hidden cost, one that's hurting our entire planet. I know many of us are on a budget and we're students. We care about style and convenience, and fast fashion makes it easy to keep up with trends without spending a fortune. But I also know this generation is passionate about climate justice and wants to make responsible choices once we know the facts. Now, fast fashion is more than just a shopping habit. It's a global issue. According to the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, the fashion industry is responsible for an estimated 10% of global carbon emissions and is the second largest consumer of water worldwide. Today, I want to discuss the environmental impact of fast fashion. It's a problem that affects not just ecosystems, but also our health and future. It's easy to ignore when the clothes are cute and cheap, but the damage is real and growing. I've done extensive research on this topic, researching peer reviewed sources, including reports from the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the UN, and fashion sustainability experts. we, what I've learned has completely changed how I think about my own closet, and I'm sure it will make you think about yours as well. The fashion industry produces over 92 million tons of textile waste each year. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, that's the equivalent of a garbage truck full of clothes being dumped in landfills every second. According to the United Nations Environment Program, the fashion industry produces 10% of global carbon emissions. That's more than all international flights and maritime shipping combined. The production of fast fashion uses about 79 billion cubic meters of water annually. That's enough to meet the water needs of 5 million people. Synthetic fibers like polyester, used in most cheap clothes, shed microplastics every time we wash them, polluting our oceans and food chain. Fast fashion companies like Shein, H&M, and Zara release hundreds of new styles weekly, encouraging overconsumption. Our clothes are built to be disposable because they can be made cheaply, and with fashion trends changing every week, this is causing our landfills to be overfilled with barely worn clothing. First, I'll explain why fast fashion is a serious environmental problem. Then I'll discuss what causes this problem to keep growing. Finally, I will talk about what we can do to be a part of the solution. Let's start by looking at why fast fashion has become such a serious environmental issue. We've discussed how the overproduction of fast fashion has caused unnecessary waste that's impacting our environment. Although it's not just the environment being impacted, fast fashion also thrives on exploitative labor. Workers, mostly women in developing countries, often earn below living wages and work in unsafe working conditions. After the 2013 Rana Plaza factory collapse in Bangladesh, which killed over 1,100 workers, the world saw the deadly consequences of cheap fashion. So, not only is the production process wasteful, but the aftermath can be much worse, and the people who are employed to produce fast fashion are also being endangered. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation reported that every second, the equivalent of one garbage truck of textiles is burned or sent to a landfill. Most of these clothes are made from synthetic fibers that don't decompose easily. Brands like Shein, H&M, and Zara release thousands of new styles every month, and we've been conditioned to treat clothing as disposable. Social media trends change weekly, pressuring us to keep buying. And according to McKinsey and Company, the average person today buys 60% more clothing than they did 15 years ago, but keeps each item for half as long. So, what's driving this destructive cycle? What's driving this massive waste and pollution? Many companies get away with harmful practices because there are few environmental regulations in the fashion industry. Some brands also use greenwashing, which means they market themselves as sustainable without making real changes. For example, H&M's Conscious line was criticized by the Norwegian Consumer Authority for misleading consumers about its sustainability claims. The good news, there are real ways we can make a difference, like starting with how we shop. One way to reduce the impact of fast fashion is to shop less and shop smarter. You can try secondhand stores, clothing swaps, and apps like Poshmark and Depop. Support local designers with slow fashion methods and ethical brands that are truly transparent and sustainable. Some things you can do to start today in becoming more sustainable include participating in a no buy month. That's a challenge that you could do in order to reduce your spending habits on fast fashion, or learning how to repair and upcycle your old clothes. The most sustainable outfit is the one you already own. Extending the life of a garment by just 9 months can reduce its carbon footprint by 20 to 30%. Sharing awareness with your friends and others online can also help reduce the impact of fast fashion in our environment. As consumers, we have power. Supporting policies that push for fair labor, reduce waste, and eco friendly materials is a part of the solution to reduce the impact of fast fashion in our society. Follow and support organizations like Fast Revolution, which holds brands accountable and educate the public. Use your voice to comment on brands' social media and sign petitions to vote with your wallet. We don't have to be perfect, but we do have to be better. Next time you're tempted to buy a $5 shirt, take some time to ask yourself if you'll wear it more than 30 times. Together, we can slow down fast fashion and dress like we care about the future.